Ball in that line, cow point, even a forward defense goes to that area. A thick outside edge will be a boundary. So that's a risk that Babar Azam don't want to take. But I'm with you. Would like to see, especially with Mohammad Nabi, just into the crease, a leg gully, playing with his mind, playing with his ego.
So Shahid has had to watch the carnage from the other end here. He's 2 or 4 deliveries, the left hand. And this keeps happening. And you can also understand he wants to play the game at his pace.
Right, temptation for Shahid. Down up, mid off up. He'll take it up. First ball, Shadab Khan, googly. Invitation is being offered.
The problem for Afghanistan is they've lost 3 quick wickets, one at 60, one at 61 and one at 62. So these two now almost need to try and rebuild.
Benefit for all our viewers. Last 30 deliveries, 4 runs and 3 wickets. That's how well Pakistan have bowled. And got to say this, they've been completely bamboozled by spin at both the ends.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I don't think it's been the easiest pitch, the easiest one-day pitch to bat on. It took a real gritty performance from Babar Azam and from Mohammad Rizwan to give them that platform which allowed them that acceleration towards the back end. But it wasn't easy, and it continues to be tough.
I think that's why HT, after today, most likely Pakistan will be the #1 team in the world. Going gets tough. 2 senior players put their hands up, get the job done, takes responsibility.
So just a single off that over. That's 23 gone now. Afghanistan are chugging along. That's 63 for 5.
$63 for 5. 206 still needed. 27 over left. Pakistan have done well here today, as the previous crew were just saying. Good fight back with the bat. Got more runs than maybe they would have expected halfway through the innings. And now pressure is on Afghanistan. They've lost 5. Real struggle to get the runs on the board. Real struggle to keep the run rate up there. It's dragging behind at the moment. So Shahidullah faces the left arm pace of Shaheen Shah Afridi. The edge, just dropped short. Taken on the half volley, taken nicely, cleanly, nonetheless on the half volley. Yeah, someone had slipped. Well, actually, it was. He knew it wouldn't quite carry. A little bit wider. Knew it wasn't going to carry. Tried as best you can in those conditions. He has so little time to do it, to get his hands a little bit further forward, try and get underneath it. But in the end, had to accept that the half volley was going to be as good as it got. Watch this now. Tries to get forward with the hands a little bit, but there is only so much you can do in that time. Yeah, well bowled. And this is where it is such a privilege in many ways for Babar Azam to be able to say at this stage, just keep the pressure on. You've got the pace, you've got the bounce. It's been a pretty immaculate over actually so far. Down the edge, first ball, one little been threatening that outside edge throughout. Still keeps the same line. Of ifs there. 24 overs in, 64 for 5. I'm afraid it's not as though he's been in the runs.
Look at that for a view, a mesmerizing view from Afghanistan. Been gifted with the beautiful nature of Afghanistan.
Oh, sorry for that. Where was that? That was Bamyan, was it?
Yeah, that's right.
Four for 5, 24 overs gone. We have another change. Mohammad Nawaz played a very handy knock with the bat, lower down the order. Left arm spin now has a chance as well.
It was the partnership that helped Pakistan compile 165 runs in the last 20 overs. The clinical thing in the innings of Pakistan was the way they built the innings when Babar Azam and Muhammad Rizwan were out in the middle. They absorbed the pressure. And once they had the platform, they capitalized on it. And the result is that now they have such a huge total on the board. It's very comfortable what they have put on the board after their first innings batting display.
Well, they're treating Nawaz with a fair amount of respect here. This is what's known as gentle left-arm spin. We've seen the real spinners of the ball in action at various stages of the day. He just kind of rolls the fingers over the top. Relies on sort of line and length and just subtle varieties. Slides away off the outside part of it. Now, saw a few misfields in the field earlier with Afghanistan. That's one of the ones we've seen now with Pakistan as well.
I mean, you often hear come boundary will say welcome miss field for Afghanistan's cause. At least it's been 63 deliveries since they have hit a boundary, and they've only been able to get 7 runs in the last 30 balls. So they gotta have to do something if they are really thinking about chasing this big 203 remaining runs to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, the reason for that lack of runs last 30 balls is the wickets that fell. 3 wickets also fell in that same passage of play. That's what takes the heart out of any innings for any team. And let's face it, with the situation it is, the ones will not be enough. 67 for 5, halfway through. Yeah, this is one of those chases where I think everyone recognised it would be a tough chase. One of those chases where you hope that a men contribute. But if you look at the scorecard, I mean, top score so far for Afghanistan is Riaz is 34. There's a 5, there's a 0, there's a 13, another 0. Those are not the scores that get you towards a target. Well, Naseem Shah not playing today. Babar Azam was and played a part. This man just loves playing all the time. Shaheen Shah Afridi. Now umpires coming together. Impossible to tell from here what they are discussing out in the middle. Okay, we've had this earlier as well in this innings. Hawkeye is not operational. So DRS suspended. Technical reasons, technical glitches. Apologies, dear old Hawk. So yes, so DRS will not be available at this stage. Umpires are still talking. We've got the third umpire on the field again. He's ordering a cab for later. Yes, annoying, irritating, and DRS very much part of the game across the globe, across the world nowadays. And we've seen it used effectively today. Just for now, we'll have to do without it. Right, Shaheen Shah Afridi. The full face of the bat presented by Shahidullah. At 7 from 20. Now he's faced 5 yet to get off the mark. Going to ask Fidai not to look at the required run rate, so just upset him. But I'll tell him it's over 8s.
That's true. It's a big task, but then only tough times can make the tough men. So it's out of such situation, if you can take your team out, you get the recognition. You've been playing cricket for so long. You've represented Afghanistan across the world. Playing international leagues, have a lot of experience. Not an easy task, but at least you need to start taking. Maybe you will see that it becomes probable.
I'm going to have to ask you the obvious question. Given the circumstances, how do you force the pace without taking risks?
There's a word called miracle. I'm asking for a miracle, I guess.
No further questions, Milad.
No, it's tough. It's not easy, absolutely. I mean, you're spot on. See, from the cricketing viewpoint, this is not an easy task. The bowlers are in good rhythm, and on the top of that, the wicket's been behaving. And at times, we've seen uneven bounce as well. That is going to further create second thoughts in the mind of the batsman. And what can you do? I mean, you always need to play for the win. So it'll only be a matter of time to see how they can adjust according to the situation and see if we could at least stop. Let's see what happens. Well, if anything is going to make it more difficult, these short pitch deliveries. And Afghanistan not being very comfortable with the short pitch deliveries, you wouldn't be expecting him to take on the short pitch. And I think one of the other issues was that when going after the bowlers after the 20th over, they decided to go after Shadab Khan. Maybe Salman Ali Agha could have been an easier option to go after. Then again, it's just a tough day in the office for the Afghanistan cricket.
Well, there is a bit of a truism about all this. 68 for 5 after 26. And that is that most, not necessarily 100% of the time, most of the time, a strong side up against a less strong side, I'm keeping it as simple as I can here, will come out on top. And Afghanistan, I give them immense credit for all they've done over the years, you know, from the inception of the Afghanistan national team to where they are now in a World Cup coming up in a few weeks' time. And with some brilliant players, some absolutely brilliant players. But the depth isn't quite there when you have a team like Pakistan in this sort of form. Mohammad Nawaz again, second over for him. If you're talking about anyone trying to make an inroad into this Pakistan attack at the moment, this is the gentlest you'll get from Pakistan. You know, gentle, rolled left arm orthodox spin.
I really doubt he's not one. He's actually he's been one of the attacking bowlers for Afghanistan. He takes wicket and he bowls wicket to wicket. Could be another option. Let's get another one.
Give me pads, gloves, and a bat, and I'll show you what I would do.
Of course, you would just rock out there. As
No. I'm not saying that.
I'm
not saying that. Not saying that. But of all the options, I'm just going to tell you this: of all the options out there, yeah, he's no mug. He's not a mug at all. He gets, you know, the ball is in the right place pretty much all the time, for sure. But if you're going to try and make some sort of impression, use your feet. You can get down to him because it's, you know, it's gentle pace. I mean, okay, yes, there'll be tiny varieties, but you can get down to him. You can use your feet, get yourself in position, at least play some shots, and that would give you what you're asking for.
I think looking at all the bowlers that Pakistan has, you need to come out with the mindset, believe that winning is not everything. Winning is the only thing. Once you have that mindset that I am pursuing to win the game and not to just play 50 overs. I mean, absolutely, Afghanistan need to hold their heads high. The way they performed in the second ODI, that was phenomenal. I mean, the innings from Rahmanullah Gurbaz was one for ages to remember. But given circumstances, I think they need to start looking at what are they chasing, at what pace they need to calibrating their chase, because it just can't work this way. If you're wasting overs, not getting enough runs, not even getting 6 runs, it will not take you anywhere.
Well, there are many phrases that deal with the situation. They are caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. $71 for 5. Yeah, it's turned into an absolute struggle here. 16 runs in the last 11 overs. The scoring rate has dropped almost as far as it can, but that's the pressure that Pakistan have applied. All credit to Pakistan for the way they've done that. The key is taking wickets, and you keep the pressure on and you get those wickets, the pressure builds yet again. It's self-fulfilling. tough for both Shahidullah and even for Mohammed Nabi, who might have been around for 15 years of Afghan cricket. He might have seen it all. He's been there at times, special times for them as well. But even the experience, even all that talent, still going to be tough. The odd run just coming off the outside part of the bat. It's just one of those situations where it just seems as though Pakistan can do no wrong and Afghanistan just can do no right.
Unfortunately.
Indeed, indeed.
I mean, fans across the world want to see competitive cricket, so it's important that they put fight into this from here to end.
A quick word about Saud Shakil. There was talk earlier, Ramiz, for instance, was talking earlier that he was unlucky not to be in the Asia Cup squad. He's now in it. So whether it was the power of Ramiz's words on TV or just a logical response in the think tank, in the way in those that are responsible for Pakistan cricket, he has now been included in the squad. So well, good news for him.
There we go, we just see the confirmation. So Shakil has been added into the squad and he just showed to us how he plays. Well, I believe it's important that the talent gets recognized and get ample opportunities.
And it wasn't his day today. He was, what, ran himself out, really sadly, or 9, I think it was. Trying to steal a single, had to be sent back, was nowhere near when it was Ramanullah Gurbaz who threw the stumps down. One of the talents that Ramiz was talking about actually is that he's a very, very good player of spin. And in both the Asia Cup and the World Cup that follows, slow pitches, potentially, spinning pitches, potentially, lots of spinners around. That skill will come in handy. Oh, that was close. That's a thick inside edge onto a pad. He's got to hurry through for the second, which he does. And those are things you have to do under these circumstances. You've got to keep pressing, keep pushing.
Well, they picked the wrong fielder. The Seam Junior has got a rocket arm. But at the end of the day, they make it safe and they have to start taking such risks. Well, you talked about Saud Shakil, although his stay was very short, but the way he played, first ball he faced off Rashid Khan, opened the face of the bat and scored about. The next over he faced Mujib Zadran and it seemed he was very comfortable against them. So yeah, certainly a very good prospect to watch out for in the upcoming Asia Cup matches.
Yeah, just a half-hearted acknowledgement that the ball has gone past the outside edge yet again. Rizwan's been fully involved in this game, both with the bat and the stumps. Right, 74.